Chapter 30 Rituals. The sacred thread, Upavita, ceremony is very important and must always be performed at 8 years of age. Brahma had created the cotton tree so that sacred threads might be made out of cotton. But on occasions it is permissible to make sacred threads out of grass. A guru, teacher, is always to be respected and worshipped. In principle, a guru is anyone from whom knowledge might be gained. But apart from usual teachers, a father-in-law, a grandfather and an individual belonging to a superior varna are also recognized as gurus. A mother, a grandmother, a guru's wife, an aunt, a mother-in-law and the wife of an elder brother are recognized as being equivalent to a guru. One must a guru ever be shown disrespect or argued with. A person who hates his guru is certain to go to hell. Amongst gurus or those who are equivalent to gurus, the most important are a father, a mother, a teacher, an elder brother and a husband. These have to be respectfully served at all costs. A Brahman must always wash his mouth after eating, drinking, sleeping, bathing, spitting or changing clothes. The mouth must also be washed before sitting down to study. It is also recommended that the mouth be washed after talking to those who do not believe in the Vedas, Shudras, outcasts and women. If a mouthwash is not possible, one can cleanse oneself by touching a piece of clothing is touched inadvertently. The act of purification requires the touching of water, wet grass or the earth. One of the most sacred mantras, incantations, that one can chant is the Gayatri. Before chanting, 32 cells must be drawn, as shown, and the letters of the mantra must be written down in the cells, as indicated. To recite the Gayatri, one now reads the letters as they occur in the numbered cells. That is, one starts with cell number 1, moves to cell number 2 and so on and so forth. 5, 13, 21, 29, 28, 20, 12, 4. Vivyasya prasejana avatu. 6, 14, 22, 30, 27, 19, 11, 3. Redhi chosarayo divai. 7, 15, 23, 31, 26, 18, 10, 2. Nimadavaro yorgo tsa. 8, 16, 24, 32, 25, 17, 9, 1. Yam hiya dompadhi bhata. A person who kills a Brahman, drinks wine, or steals gold from a Brahman, has to perform penance by killing himself. A person who kills a Brahman may also build a hut in the forest and live there for a period of 12 years. But throughout the period, he has to bear a mark signifying the dead Brahman's head on his palm. He is also not permitted to visit another Brahman or a temple as long as the penance is going on. It needs to be mentioned that the sin of killing a Brahman can be thus pardoned only if the killing was done inadvertently. If the killing was conscious, no penance will suffice. Under such circumstances, the sinner had best immolate himself in a fire, drown himself, or fast to death. For other sins, the observance of a religious rite, vrat, is often indicated. The major vratas are as follows. I. Santapana. This involves living for one whole day on cow's urine, cow dung, cow's milk, curds made from cow's milk and clarified butter made from cow's milk. The next day is a day of fasting. 2. Mahasantapana. This is a more severe version of the earlier vrat. In the case of Santapana vrat, 5 items were listed as permissible food. Mahasantapana vrat lasts for a period of 6 days, and on each of these days, only one of the 5 items mentioned may be partaken of. The 7th day is day of fasting. 3. Prajapatya or Kricha. If this vrat is to be observed, one can eat only during the day. For the first 3 days, one is only permitted to eat 26 handfuls of food, each handful being as large as a hen's egg. For the next 3 days, 22 handfuls are permitted, but only in the evenings. And for the final 3 days, 24 handful are permitted. 4. Atikricha. This is a more severe version of the earlier vrat. For the first 3 days, a single handful of food is permitted during the day. For the next 3 days, 1 handful is permitted in the evenings. 1 handfuls of food, each handful being as large as a hen's egg. For the next 3 days, 22 handfuls are permitted, but only in the evenings. And for the final 3 days, 3-4 handfuls are permitted. V. Parakka. 12 continuous days of fasting are required for this. Y. Taptkricha. This vrat lasts for a period of 12 days, during which time one is permitted to bathe only once a day. For the first 3 days one drinks only water. For the next 3 days one lives on milk. One has to live on clarified butter for the ensuing 3 days are days of fasting. 7. Krichatikricha. If one is to observe this vrat, one has to live only on milk for the space of 21 days. 8. Padhakricha. This vrat lasts for 4 days. For the first day one eats only 1 meal. The second day is a day of fasting. On the third day one can eat as much as one wants. And on the fourth and final day, one fasts. 9. Chandrayana. This vrat lasts for an entire month and begins on the day of the full moon, Purnima. On the first day, 15 handfuls are to be eaten. Thereafter, 1 handful less is eaten on successive days, until on the day of new moon, Amavasya, one fasts completely. On each day that follows, the amount of food eaten is increased by 1 handful. Finally, on the day of the next full moon, 15 handfuls of food are eaten and the vrat is completed. As mentioned earlier, those who kill Brahmanas, steal their gold, or drink wine, are sinners. Also sinners are those who associate with these aforementioned sinners for more than 1 year. Those who associate with outcasts for more than a year are also sinners. A Brahman who drinks wine should drink boiling wine as a penance. It is also permitted to drink cow's urine as atonement. A person who steals gold from Brahmanas will go to the king and confess his guilt. His penance will be completed when the king beats him to death with a club. The only exception is a case where the thief himself happens to be a Brahman. He can then perform penance by meditating. It is always a king's duty to punish sinners. If the king fails in this task, the sins vest with the king. A person who associates with sinners has to observe Taptakricha vrat for 1 year. A man who takes on outcast for a wife has to observe Taptakricha or Santapana. A Brahman who kills a Kshatriya is required to observe Prajapatya, Santapana or Taptakricha for 1 year. In case the victim is a Vaishya, Krichatikricha or Chandrayana are indicated. If a Shudra is killed, 500 cows have to be donated. If an elephant is killed, Taptakricha vrat has to be observed. Chandrayana will suffice if a cow is killed inadvertently. But if a cow is consciously killed, there is no penance that is adequate. For minor thefts, the stolen goods have to be returned to the rightful owner and Santupana observed. But if a Brahman steals food grains, he has to observe Prajapatya for an entire year. A cannibal can purity himself through Chandrayana vrat. A person who eats the meat of a crow, dog or elephant, has to observe Taptakricha. Santapana is for those who happen to eat mongooses, owls or cats. An eater of camels or donkeys observes Taptakricha. A Brahman who becomes an atheist can cleanse himself through Prajapatya. If he revolts against the gods or against his guru, the act of purification involves Taptakricha. A Brahman who recites the Puranas to outcasts has to observe Chandrayana. There are several other forms of penance that are catalogued by the Kurma Purana.